Did you know that Hindu extremists attack minorities in India on a regular basis? The largest minority group, Muslims, make up almost 15% of the population. The political ideology of Hindutva, driven by groups like the BJP, Sena, ISKCON and RSS, has fueled a surge in violence not just against Muslims but also against other minorities such as Christians. Many Christian churches have been vandalized across the country, underscoring the spread of extremist ideologies like a virus, threatening India's democratic and secular foundations. A growing crisis of extremism. Today, we will explore the rise of Hindu extremism and how it has terrorized the Muslim minority in India. This escalating violence undermines India's global image as a democratic and pluralistic nation. The Babri Masjid demolition in 1992 stands as a stark reminder of how extremist actions can ignite decades of communal unrest and systemic discrimination. The Babri Masjid demolition, a catalyst for violence on December 6, 1992, Hindu extremists destroyed the Babri Masjid in Ayodhya, claiming the site as the birthplace of Lord Ram. This act of aggression incited nationwide riots, killing thousands, predominantly Muslims. The incident not only deepened communal divides, but also emboldened Hindu nationalist organizations like the RSS and BJP, which have since played a central role in perpetuating intolerance and hate. Patterns of targeted attacks. Disruptions during worship. Extremist groups have frequently targeted mosques, blaring loud music or chanting provocative slogans during prayers. These actions aim to intimidate worshippers and assert dominance, creating an atmosphere of fear. Harassment during Eid. On numerous occasions, pigs, considered impure in Islam, have been deliberately released into Eid prayer grounds. This deliberate provocation mocks Muslim religious practices and sows division. Physical assaults during prayers. Muslims praying in mosques or open spaces have been violently attacked, with videos of such incidents often circulated online to further humiliate the victims. Mob lynchings. False allegations of cow slaughter or beef consumption have been used as pretexts for lynching Muslims. Victims are brutally murdered, while the perpetrators are rarely prosecuted, perpetuating a culture of impunity. Economic marginalization. Boycotts and violence targeting Muslim-owned businesses are common, cutting off economic lifelines and deepening social exclusion. Major communal violence incidents. 2002 Gujarat riots. Following the Godhra train burning, over 1,000 people, mostly Muslims, were killed in anti-Muslim riots. Reports of mass killings, sexual violence, and arson were compounded by allegations of state complicity. 2013 Muzaffarnagar riots. In Uttar Pradesh, communal clashes displaced over 50,000 Muslims and killed dozens. Inflammatory rhetoric and propaganda fueled the violence. 2020 Delhi riots. Sparked by protests against the Citizenship Amendment Act, CA, these riots killed 53 people, mostly Muslims. Mosques were vandalized, homes burned, and families displaced, exposing systemic failures in law enforcement. A systemic problem. The rise in Hindu extremist attacks is not isolated but systemic, fueled by the divisive rhetoric and policies of organizations like the RSS and BJP. From forced chants of Hindu slogans to preventing mosque construction and attacking interfaith couples, such acts are normalized through propaganda and a lack of accountability. Social media platforms exacerbate the problem by amplifying hate speech and enabling extremists to coordinate attacks. Meanwhile, the justice system's delays and failures embolden perpetrators. International and domestic responsibility. India's rising intolerance demands immediate attention. The global community, alongside India's civil society, must act to curb these violations of human rights. Measures include legal accountability, enforcing laws against hate crimes and communal violence with fast-track courts. Interfaith initiatives, encouraging leaders from all communities to foster dialogue and counter hate. Economic inclusion, empowering marginalized groups through targeted programs and equal opportunities. Regulating hate speech, holding social media platforms and media outlets accountable for promoting divisive content. From the Babri Masjid demolition to recent acts of violence, the rise of Hindu extremism against Muslims underscores a dire need for collective action. India's commitment to secularism, equality, and justice is not just a constitutional obligation, but a moral one. Failure to address this growing menace risks further tarnishing India's international standing and jeopardizing its diverse social fabric.